Natalie, a sophisticated escort, visits her client room. He is wearing a huge adult diaper. Natalie takes off her coat while waiting for her customer. When she leaves, she takes off her wig and takes in the bustling city while reflecting on her life. On the other hand, we see Mitch, a failed journalist who avoids serious relationships and only wants to fall in love with the first person he meets. Mitch's best friend sets up a blind date for him with Mila, a polite but uninterested girl, but he doesn't want to go on the date, so he hides in the bathroom to get away. He finds it quicker and easier to meet women through apps. That evening, Mitch meets Natalie at a restaurant by the bar. She offers her services for $3,000 per night, but Mitch is not used to paying for pleasure, so he insulted her by telling her to get a job before leaving. The girl then admits that she graduated from a prestigious university, which slightly shocks the journalist. The next day, Mitch's world comes apart when his boss plans to fire him because of a planned reduction in staff, and Mitch is the only person the boss is unable to have an intimate relationship with. He rapidly descends into despair and loses confidence in himself. A few weeks later, Mitch decides he needs a new job, but every editorial office rejects his resume or offers him unpaid positions. He even dared to apply to a fashion magazine, but was turned down there too, as well, for printing things that were deemed unnecessary and not professional enough. Although he doesn't have enough money to pay for rent, Mitch vows to come up with an intriguing article topic and recalls the intelligent and gorgeous Natalie. In the evening, he tries to contact Natalie in a pub but acts too suspiciously. The bartender suspects Mitch might be a policeman, but the journalist is not ready to show his credentials to a stranger. On his way out, he runs into Natalie. He asks her to do a story about her life, but she refuses and asks him to leave. The night before, Natalie meets with a client who crosses boundaries and tries to kiss her. Natalie tries to stop him because she doesn't kiss anyone, but when the man tries to force himself on her, she retaliates with a blow to his groin. At home, Natalie told her best friend about the incident and she suggested that she get a bodyguard. The following day, she gives Mitch another call and accepts to be the protagonist of his story, as long as he spends all of his time with her. When Natalie takes Mitch with her, he's astonished to learn that she also tutors tough kids in arithmetic. Later, Mitch runs into Natalie's best friend, who is responsible for introducing Natalie to the world of escorting girls. Mitch gets carried away by Natalie's easy money for a relatively pleasant job, and she swears she will quit as soon as she saves up enough cash to invest in her own company. The two go out to a pub in the evening, where Mitch's job is to watch Natalie while she interacts with different men while keeping a watchful eye on the room. Mitch discovers that Natalie is staging orgasms to receive larger tips, but she needs to start making more money quickly. Mitch and Natalie become close friends and spend a lot of time together. One evening, an inappropriate man approaches Natalie. Mitch intervenes to protect her. After the confrontation, he leaves. Natalie finds this suspicious because she has noticed that he texts people frequently but doesn't know what he is hiding from her. After making the decision to follow Mitch, Natalie finds that he is clapping with the first person he meets in the restroom of a cheap cafe. She also finds out that he uses a fast dating app. At the conclusion of their meeting, Mitch tells Natalie that she is very attractive and asks her to pose as his girlfriend for a visit from his family. Mitch worries that everyone believes he is obsessed with intimacy, so he wants to make it seem as though he is dating. The following morning, the couple visits a country home, where it is revealed that Mitch's father Charles is a wealthy man who used to play sports and is now raising Mitch's younger sister Emily. They are thrilled with her, unaware that Natalie is more than just a child tutor. Mitch decides to talk to his father and asks for money, unaware that Natalie overheard their conversation. The two decides to spend more time together and Natalie confesses that she had a good education and could have achieved more, but she loved making love too much. Shortly before her graduation exams, she made a list of all the boys she had dated and sent it to her friends. Envious girls published it, resulting in a scandal that was even shown on television, with the consequence that Natalie's name became synonymous with easy girls. And she was rejected at all jobs interviews as her reputation was deemed irreparably damaged, so she decided to do this job. After coming home, Emily watches a movie. When Emily falls asleep, Mitch finds it difficult to fall asleep next to Natalie. He decides to straighten out the bedding that Natalie helps with. At that point, a spark between them ignites, and after they kiss, they can't resist making love. In the morning, Natalie drops Mitch off at home and, realizing that he is having financial difficulties, gives him some money while she goes to the clinic. After meeting another attractive woman, Mitch realizes he can no longer have casual relationships. He has fallen in love with Natalie and wants to be with her, so he goes to the clinic to support her and spend time with her. Later, Mitch fights with his friend over his feelings for Natalie, the girl he can easily get along with. Natalie continues to work, but Mitch is unhappy about it and grows more and more envious of her. Eventually, friends and family get together to force Mitch to attend a treatment program with a psychologist in order to address his reliance on random women. Ignoring their help, he meets Natalie again and watches her look for clients. Upon witnessing another impolite man, Mitch hits him and gives him a severe beating. Natalie finds his actions disappointing, and after making a lot of effort to figure out what's going on, the pair discovers they are both suffering from psychological trauma. Mitch engages in escape, whereas Natalie meets men for financial gain because she fears rejection. While Mitch drinks and attempts to write an article about an escort for several weeks, he returns to the office of a fashion magazine to resign from his position. The woman is surprised by these. Natalie continues to dazzle married men and older men with her beauty in exchange for a few crisp bills. In a dating room, Mitch meets Natalie and drives away a married client so he can speak with her alone. He confesses his love to her, but he doesn't get a response, so he leaves her permanently. A few months later, Mitch writes a lengthy piece about the escort girl that captures readers' attention and becomes a glossy magazine bestseller. In the meantime, Natalie secures a respectable job where one's skills and education are respected rather than their background. The boss's daughter experienced cyberbullying, so she doesn't want to insult a young woman who aspires to realize herself. After attending a rehabilitation program to address his psychological traumas and addictions from childhood, Mitch visits his father and discovers that he enjoys smoking more than staying in shape. After a consultation, Mitch realizes that he must fight for his happiness. A few minutes later, Mitch meets Natalie at the door. Having read his article, she declares her love for him.